Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with a reading for the Pisces new moon. So first I want to talk a little bit about a few messages that I've been receiving about this new moon, and I'm going to refer to some astrology, and then later on we'll jump into a tarot reading. So I'll just leave the timestamps below. But first, let's talk about the astrology here. So the new moon is happening on 1 degree of Pisces. And in the tarot, Pisces is really represented by the moon card. Another interesting thing that is happening right now is that Venus is at 29 degrees of Pisces and she's about to move into Aries. And so the energy that I kept getting was the Little Mermaid, you know, the moment where the Little Mermaid grows legs, you know, she comes out of the ocean, she comes out of the water and she grows legs and she starts to actually leave footprints on earth. And so for some of you, I think that you might be really feeling this energy. If you have been working a lot on your inner feminine, you know, if you feel as if you've been kind of lost at sea for a long time, just figuring out how to breathe underwater, you know, how to handle kind of the gravity of the ocean and the cosmic womb and these overwhelming emotions. If you've been going through all of that, then I think that this new moon is gonna mark a huge change for you, and you're coming out of the ocean. That's what I'm feeling. So this is for some of you. But then we also have Saturn at 28 degrees of Aquarius. So it's kind of interfering a little bit with this new moon. And the message that I have been getting for Saturn, that is now about to move into Pisces, is that when Saturn moves into Pisces, it's like the old time, or it's almost like time in general, the way that we've used to see time is over. Time is not going to be, in a sense, linear anymore. And so what do I mean by this? This year, 2023, is a 7 year, so a year of the Chariot. And kind of the epitome to me of the Chariot is that ability to navigate time. You know, it's the ability to understand that our thoughts and our feelings are essentially time. You know, if you tune into your emotions, if you tune into the thoughts in your mind, you will realize that they originate from some place. You know, first of all, there was a place within your life where you first came into contact with the specific belief you have or the thoughts in your mind. And if you follow that further back, you will see that there was also a point of origin where this specific belief system, this specific dynamic that you may experience within your relationship, there was an origin point for that dynamic. And this is what, you know, psychics tend to refer to as timelines. You know, it's kind of like feelings that are bonded with very specific narratives that creates very specific behaviors, you know, dynamics in our life. They highlight very specific parts of our nature. And as a result, when we play these things out over and over, we start to call in very specific type of destinies and experiences. And kind of that's how we shape our future in a way. And so this year is really the year where we learn, or where we can learn, if we're open to it, how to navigate that space, the subconscious space, more, becoming aware of time through observing kind of the feelings and the narratives of our mind. And so that's kind of what I'm feeling for Saturn moving into Pisces, is that when that happens, we're gonna be in this new time where it's almost like we are given all the freedom to create our own lives, our own destinies through this way of really becoming aware of our own subconscious. And another thing that's kind of interesting with Saturn is that, you know, Saturn talks about pressure. You know, it's like creating a diamond through the application of pressure. So creating, you know, density, the feeling of being pressured, not having enough space, the feeling of not being able to breathe, you know, that's very typical for Saturn. But when Saturn moves into Pisces, it's like there is nothing to put pressure on. That's the feeling I'm getting. It's like you can't put pressure on water because it just disappears. It goes elsewhere. You can't force water. And that's also something that I think we're going to start to experience more and more. You know, the people that are only used to creating through pressure and hardness and force and making, you know, these people are gonna have to kind of redirect their ways, because they're not gonna have the same types of results that they have been used to in the old time. But those of you that have been already starting to go through this shifting and starting to, you know, create more with flow and effortlessness and ease, when Saturn moves into Pisces, which by the way, it happens in 2 weeks only. So it's actually happening by the next full moon, which is full moon in Virgo. So when this happens, you know, I think that things are just gonna start to manifest so much easier for you. So for those of you that have been building up your inner feminine, you know, for those of you that have been building up your wave and your inner ocean, this is your time. Like, this is kind of like the time of doing just the final preparations, you know, really becoming in kind of control of your inner chariot, just becoming aware. So that's kind of the overarching themes I feel for this new moon. One final thing that I will mention is that Pluto is also at 29 degrees of Capricorn, and he's going to be moving into Aquarius on the 23rd of March. And so I'm also really feeling that, you know, the final push of the Capricorn archetype, which is kind of the archetype of, you know, Lucifer, the devil. And Lucifer used to be a light being. You know, that's the story of Lucifer. It was an angel when it first came into earth. It was an angel. But then as time went by, you know, as kind of the humans, the people on earth started integrating the light from Lucifer, from this angel, and the thing that was once, you know, divine became common and mainstream. As that process happened, you know, Lucifer became less and less holy. He became more and more mainstream and less like an angel. But because Lucifer kind of refused to give up on his old identity and let go of the thing that he used to be, he then became denser and denser and denser. And that's kind of the gist of, you know, the end degrees, especially in Capricorn, is that if we're not willing to let go of the story of who we used to be, if we could just continue to kind of energetically cling to that, then this time is gonna just make us denser and denser and denser, and it's gonna be kind of more and more and more difficult to move forward in the way that we have been used to. We're being asked to go back to the ocean, you know, being crushed by the waves, you know, having our hearts broken open, and that hurts. A lot of people fear it, and yeah, but it's kind of the way into birthing ourselves in this new form, as the rising feminine. So that's what I'm feeling. Those are some of the messages that I've been receiving. So let's see. Let's jump into the tarot cards here. Let's do a little reading as well to see what comes through. So I'm gonna be using this Shaman Oracle deck, and I definitely feel like I have to use the Wild Unknown Tarot, because like I said, this is us like creating completely new paths for ourselves now. Really learning how to flow and move from our golden feminine, like the rising feminine within the inner child and our potential and all of those areas. So and also I'm getting for some of you that right now is a period of time where it's very important that you learn how to protect those aspects within yourself. I feel that for many of you, you're not protecting your inner feminine energetically. Like you're not listening to her, you're not listening or giving enough value to your own feelings. You may just be demonizing them, calling them bad because they're negative or on the darker side, but not really going into that to understand why it has manifested in that way. So I feel for some of you, this is a time where you may benefit a lot from really tuning in to your inner state, like your deep state, and questioning why you're feeling the way you're feeling. For instance, if you're feeling what we would refer to as like negative emotions, then that is a sign that you have not been giving enough light to your inner feminine. You know, she's not protected. When it's like when we're fully protecting our inner feminine, then she is sacred. You know, it's like a womb. She becomes sacred. Nothing can penetrate that space. It's like our sacred space within. And she will give us a lot of like high vibe feelings. We won't have to make ourselves feel better. That's just gonna be the baseline, you know, that's just the baseline in that state. So for some of you, I'm feeling to become more aware of the story of your inner feminine, not the story of your ego, not what you already know about yourself, but it's like what is coming from the shadows, the pain. That is where I feel for some of you, you will just benefit greatly from getting to know a bit more, giving more value to that. So let's see if we can get a card for the Pisces new moon. I'm hearing it is a dark moon, and so it's up to us to make it light. You know, it's like at this point in time, we have to use our will to make it bright and to make it light. Wow! And underneath the deck was the moon in reverse. Wow. So for some of you, yeah, I'm getting this message to reflect more, like to use your lunar power more. Reflecting, you know, thinking, why are things like this? Why are things like that? This is what's gonna help you to step into your feminine more and make her sacred, you know, create that sacred space for her so that she can feed you the vibrations that you need to kind of walk into your new path, the path of your new life in a way. And leave a legacy. That's what I'm feeling. Wow, yeah. And the card that came out was the Jaguar, also in reverse. The Jaguar is a symbol that comes through a lot for me when we're talking about shamanism. And it's about kind of going into the jungle or into the forest, you know, into the old growth of our mind and learning how to orient within that space, you know, learning how to orient within the time of our subconscious. So for some of you, I'm feeling that this is something that it would benefit you to work more on. The staff is coming through. It will give you more power. And I feel like you're just gonna feel like naturally more powerful in your life. You're gonna feel like you have more momentum and more agency in your life. And the feelings of, you know, powerlessness and hopelessness, they're not gonna come when you actually listen to your inner feminine. You know, a lot of the times, and this is something that I've gone through myself for like over the past like 5, 6, 7 years. I've been going through these cycles of, you know, building my inner ocean, being trapped by the ocean, feeling overwhelmed by my own feelings, you know, feeling like I can't breathe. And over time, as you become more and more aware of the whys, you know, as you bring light to that through your ability to reflect, these feelings just, they don't come as often. They don't overwhelm me anymore. Now at this point, it's like, even if I feel powerless, I also feel love for that powerlessness, because I know, oh, it's just my inner feminine. She needs me. Like, I have to go in there and see what's going on. You know, it's my inner child that needs me. It's not something to fear when you understand the why. Then it's just like, you know, it's just like a message board, or like a dashboard on in your car, kind of, you know, with the chariot there. It's like you're just getting, oh, okay, it's blinking over here, I must go and tend to it, like see what it is, that there are some messages there for me. So that's what I'm feeling for some of you, that investing a bit more energy into that type of work is just gonna make it so much more easier for you to maneuver this year. Yeah, underneath the deck was the Daughter of Cups, so it's kind of like we're building our rainbow. Instead of just thinking like good, bad in terms of our emotions, we're starting to see them more as the rainbow, you know, again, that referring back to them being time. You know, the red emotions, they're coming from the root system, so more ancient, you know, more ancient spirits will come through these denser and darker feelings, and so forth. So that's also another way that you can kind of also gauge like what type of spirits are trying to communicate to you. Again, what timelines are you working with? What timelines are important for your development right now? Okay, so 2 cards coming out here. Son of Pentacles underneath the deck with the 5 of Pentacles. So if you're feeling held back right now, if you're feeling overwhelmed by your ocean, like your emotions, it's because your ancestors is wanting you to be more still. Like, it's like your ancestors, your root system is trying to protect you. It's actually what I'm healing. It's like trying to protect your life, and it's wanting you to be more still so that you can, it's like invest, put your investment, put your blood into better places. Like if you think about the brain, how it develops, you know, it's all developed based on blood. It's blood magic. That's the real blood magic. Like, it's just our inner workings. But it's like, and you might need to redirect the blood flow, to use your brain and your mind in a different way, so that new parts of your cells can grow. So that's what I'm feeling. So don't just look at your feelings as, if you're feeling hopeless, like I said, don't get lost in that feeling of poor me, or why am I feeling so bad, and just getting like lost in that feeling. Try to remember that your inner feminine is wanting to give you more information when you're feeling this feeling. And so see if you can connect to her. See if you can connect to your inner child. Ask for guidance. Ask to become wiser. And that's how you begin to like shift that around. That's what I'm feeling for some of you. Yeah. Some of you don't. It's like with the 4 of Cups there and the Knight of Cups. I feel for some of you, you're not it's like you're emotionally not wanting to receive this path. I'm wondering why. I'm hearing it's like you're fearing having your heart broken. Because that's the other side to this path. It's like going through this, you will have your heart broken, not once, not twice, it's like 1,000 times. It's like it's like breathing in. It feels like you're calling towards you all the love in the world, and then breathing out, your heart breaks. And so every breath is like a heart shattering. That's almost how I can describe this creation of the ocean. So of course in the beginning it's horrible, and in the beginning we might actually manifest the heartbreak through external events, and that's what makes it extra like difficult to handle. But the more we kind of, and this is my experience, like the more I started to tune into my intuition, the more I just started to receive my karma through my imagination. Like it didn't manifest anymore in my physical world. It just came through to me through these like movies and visions and daydreams. And that's where I went through all of these emotional ups and downs that kind of shaped me in a new way and taught me about myself and my own nature and all of that. And so that's what I'm feeling for some of you. If you're feeling that you're kind of fearing having your heart broken, again, spending more time just observing your inner world, you can kind of make sure that this heart opening that we kind of have to go through to get to this next level, it happens through your imagination, you know, and that makes it way more easy to handle, because it means that once you get a hang of it, you know, once you get used to this up and down of the ocean, then you start going through your karma so much more rapidly than if you had to manifest all of that shit, is what I'm hearing. You know, just imagine it would have to involve other people, it will have to create actual events in your life, and when that happens, it just takes, it's like it takes years, if not decades, versus, you know, maybe months if we choose to, or years in some cases, depending, you know, on your journey. But it's just a lot quicker to go through the awakening if you're open to your own subconscious. Like if you're listening to your inner feminine, this ride is just gonna be so much gentle, so much more gentle, and you'll be able to restore yourself. So that's what I'm feeling for some of you, to, you know, pay more attention to your inner selves, give it more value, and it's just gonna be a much lighter load. That's what I'm feeling. So I think I'm gonna end this little reading here. I hope that you're all doing good. Thank you for watching. Bye.